This tutorial is about creating XY data from a table, like a CSV file that's a spreadsheet of data that contains location information. So I wanted to go through this process. So I'm going to work with data. This is data about Latter-day Saint temples, okay, and where they're located. So this is a website called churchofjesuschristtemples.org, and the author of this website kind of keeps track of construction status and other things that are important to people following Latter-day Saint temples around the world. And he's got a downloadable CSV file that contains location information for all the temples that have been announced and built. So I'm just going to save this on my desktop. Again, this is a CSV file. Microsoft Excel can read it. So I'm going to save that to my desktop and just open that up and take a look at it. So this is it's got fields for the temple name, latitude and longitude. These are in decimal degrees. It also has latitude and longitude in degree, minutes, seconds, coordinates. Has address, city, state, postal code, country, and phone number all in there. So we're primarily interested in these two fields and getting those plotted on a map of the world. Okay. So let's open ArcGIS. I've opened it up already here. I'm going to create a new map called temples and just let it save to the default location. Oh, I already have call it temples 2. I already have a project called that. All right. So now I want to add my CSV file to my map. I have saved it on my desktop, so I'm going to click Add Data, navigate to my desktop, and find the spreadsheet CSV file. Okay, so it has been added into my map as a standalone table in the contents pane, and I'm going to open that up and just make sure it looks okay. Make sure our location information is present in there, which it is. Okay, so now comes to the point where we're going to plot these points, these temple locations on our map. Okay, and to do that, we right click on our CSV file and we go to Display XY Data. The input table will be the CSV file that we just added into our map. Output feature class, I'm going to call this just temples, and it's writing into my default geodatabase named after my project there. Okay. X field is going to be longitude. Okay. Y field will be latitude. It should populate that automatically, but if there's any problem with that, it should always be longitude in the X and latitude in the Y. Coordinate system is okay here. Now, there may be a time when you have UTM coordinates or some other coordinate system that in that case you would have to change the coordinate system down here below, or it will not put the points in the right location. So we'll click OK. All right, and there is a map of all the temples in the world right now. And there are a few that have been recently announced that have not been put into the CSV file yet. So there are a few missing, but most of them are there. To get the missing ones populated, let's just go back to the website here and go to the temple chronology. Okay. I'm just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. We have 13 temples that were announced by the church president in the October conference in 2021. So we just want to add these 13 temples, make sure they're all represented in this database, because our mapping assignment that I've given is to kind of differentiate those more recent announcements from the rest of the temples. So the way I would do that is just by clicking this locate button and searching for each of those temples. So let's do Kaohsiung, Taiwan first. Okay, so there's already a temple point there, which means they've announced the location where they're going to be building this announced temple. So we can go to the next one. So Tacloban City, Philippines. And just click on that. Oops. Hit enter. There it is. Okay, so we do not have a point here yet. So what I'll do is make sure my temples layer is highlighted, go to edit, create a new feature, and click on my template over here in the create features pane. And I'm just going to drop a point there. So if I go into my attribute table and scroll to the bottom, you'll notice that none of the attributes have been populated for this new temple. So I'm going to call this Tacloban City, Philippines temple. Okay, and I'm going to identify this as one of those October 21 conference. Let's not put it in the phone. Actually, I'm going to make a new field for this. Made a new record accidentally. Let me delete that. Okay, so I've got the name in there. I'm going to save my edits. And now I can add a new field. So click new field. This may come up down here instead of up here for you all. I'm going to call this Chronology. And then again, this is just going to be a field where I can tag the dates where when these temples were announced. So I'm going to make it a text type and save those changes up here on the ribbon. And now I have that chronology. So I'm going to put in 021 for October 21 General Conference. Okay. And let's go to the next one. Close that fields. Monrovia, Liberia. Okay, so now I'll drop another point for Liberia here, again using the Create Features tool. Okay. I'll put the October 21 tag in there as well. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of these and just pause the recording, and I'll resume once I've digitized those 13 temples. I've finished digitizing those 13 temples. Actually, 2 of them were already in the database because their sites have been announced already. The Rexburg North and the Kaohsiung, Taiwan temples are already in the spreadsheet there in the CSV file, so we didn't need to add those. So I put in the names of all those. I've also tagged them as October 21 in the chronology field. So all I had to do was those 2 things, the name and the chronology. So I'll save those edits. Okay, and let's clear the selection. Just click clear there. All right, so I can close my attribute table now. So now I have all of those, and close my locate pane here too. So I have all the temples in here now. So now it comes time to create the final map. Okay, so I want to focus on the symbology here for a minute. Let me get my Explore tool back. If you have the Create Features tool still enabled, you're going to have the crosshair ready to drop the symbol, right? We want to go back to the Explore tool here under the Map tab to get rid of that. Okay, so let's go into the symbology. We want to click on the symbol patch here under Temples in the Contents pane. Click on that, and your Symbology tab should appear. I'm going to click the back button here to go to the primary Symbology page, and I'm going to change from single symbol to unique values. And I want to change the field here to chronology. So I should have null values and I should have October 21 values. So those two different kinds. And I have a good symbol I can use for temples. If I just type in church in the search here, they have this place of worship symbol already made. So I'm going to click the big one for the new temples. Okay, and those are already showing up on the map. If I go to properties, let's make those red just to make them stand out a little bit more. And yeah, let's go up a few points on the size too. Okay. And now I'll go back and click on the symbol for the null. That just means that those are the records, the features in our feature class that do not have a value for the chronology. So if we wanted to go in and populate all those, we could. I'm just leaving them blank or null. So we'll click on that, go to the gallery, type in church again. Let's pick the small one, small place of worship, and go to the properties. Let's make this one blue and bump it up a couple points as well. Okay, so now I have all those temples plotted. I just realized I need to go in and update the chronology for those two temples that were already in there. So one is the Kaohsiung, this one right here. I type 021 for that one, and same for Rexburg North. And the symbology should automatically update for those when you change the attributes. So we have a Kaohsiung temple that just appeared, and then a Rexburg North temple that's kind of hidden by some of those other ones, but it's there. All right, so now I might just adjust the base map, change it to a different base map. I might pick something like a human geography map. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty good. It just kind of is a subdued background and highlighting the temples. And then let's put this onto a layout. So to do that, I go to Insert, New Layout. And let's make this a horizontal or landscape 8.5 by 11 sheet. Okay, so this is our page that we're going to put the map on. And I click on Map Frame, and then click on my map right here. It shows the scale. And then it gives me this crosshair tool, so I'm just going to click across, drag from corner to corner, and there's my map. Okay, so the scale is wrong here. We need to change the scale to kind of zoom this out a little bit. So it all fits onto the page. So I might go to like a scale of 1 to 120 million. You can actually type the scale denominator here, and it will automatically scale to that scale that you put in there. Let's go, that wasn't quite enough. 1 to 120 million wasn't quite enough. Let's try 1 to 140 million. Okay, that's getting close. Let's try 150. Okay. I think everything's in there now. Okay. So now we can add a title, legend, north arrow, and scale bar to our map. Show you that really fast here. Again, in the Insert tab, we're going to go to just add a straight text for the title. And I'm going to type Temples of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. Okay. Obviously that's a little too big, so I can adjust the font size. I clicked off of it, and now I'm clicking back on it. And I can actually right click and go to the properties. And we'll change the text symbol and go to the appearance, and let's change the size. Let's go to, let's try 36, see how that looks. Okay, still a little too large. We'll back off one more time. Let's try 28. Okay, perfect. And I can right click and align this. You have to hit align page and then align to the center, and that perfectly centers it on the page. Okay. And now a north arrow. If you click the drop down, it shows you all the options. Let's do more of a whimsical, I don't know, old-fashioned one. Something like this. Okay, and scale bar. I might do this one right here. Okay, let's put that close to the north arrow. And now we just need a legend. So I click on legend, and I can just drag across there. If I want to drag it down slightly, that can help too. Okay, so what I would want to do is go back to my map tab and change this to, change the name on these. You can just slow double click, and it lets you change the display name. So I'm going to call this Temples Announced in October 2021. Okay. And let's change this one to all other temples. Okay, and now if I go to my layout, those changes appear in the legend. Okay. We have this clunky all other values thing in here too. We can actually just delete the name for that, and that should disappear. Yeah. Oh, it didn't get rid of the symbol. The other way to get rid of that is by clicking on the symbol and going into the primary symbology here and clicking under this more drop down. If you click show all other values, it will get rid of it. It kind of toggles it on and off. Okay. So now that got rid of it. Okay. And I think I might just get rid of the name temples here. I know they're temples from the labels. I don't need to show that in the legend, so I can just get rid of those two names, and that'll disappear. So now I have a really simple legend, which simple is better for a legend, and that shows what I want it to show. I might put it right over here. Okay. So there is a basic map of temples and how to make it from a CSV file that we downloaded from a website. Okay, and we have a nice map of all the temples. All right, thank you for watching.